In this video, we're going to talk about working with conjugates. So, what are conjugates of binomial radical functions? Well, conjugates are, like in the first example, where the second piece of your binomial is the opposite. For example, we have a positive here, and we have a negative over here. So positive, negative, that makes the conjugate. How do we multiply them? Well, remember FOIL? We're just going to FOIL them out. So we multiply 2 times 2, which is 4. 2 times negative square root of 3, which is negative 2 times the square root of 3. And then we do the square root of 3 times 2, which is positive 2 times the square root of 3. And square root of 3 times square root of 3. And if you remember, we have the negative there. That gives us negative 9. These two inner terms cancel out. So we're left with 4 minus 9, which is negative 5. If we look at the second example here, we have 4 times 4, 16. Foiling again. 4 times 2 times the square root of 5, which is positive 8 root 5. Then we look at negative 2 root 5 times 4, which is negative 8 root 5. And negative 2 root 5 times 2 root 5, which is negative 4 times 5, which is negative 20. Again, our middle terms, our radical terms, cancel out. And we get 16 minus 20, which is negative 4. At times, you're going to be asked to rationalize denominators. And that's what this third example is all about. How do we get rid of the square roots in the denominators? We need to use a conjugate to do this. That way we get rid of the square roots. So the conjugate of our denominator is square root of 2 minus the square root of 3. Remember, we have to multiply by a form of 1, so we multiply the numerator by the same thing. So square root of 2 minus the square root of 3. Foiling it out, 4 times root 2 gives us 4 root 2. 4 times negative root 3 is negative 4 root 3. Root 6 times root 2, well, remember 6 times 2 is 12, so that's 4 times 2, right? So the square root of 12 is the same as the square root of 4 times 3, which is 2 root 3. So that's plus 2 root 3. 6 times 3, remember 6 times 3 is 18, so we have the square root of 18, which is the square root of 9 times 2, which is 3 root 2. So that's going to be minus 3 root 2. In my denominator, because the middle terms cancel out, all I really have to do is multiply square root of 2 times square root of 2, which is 2. And square root of 3 times the negative square root of 3, which is negative 1. I'm sorry, negative 3. I'm a little bit ahead of myself. So my numerator, combining like terms, so 4 root 2 minus 3 root 2 is 1 root 2, or just the square root of 2. And then negative 4 root 3 plus 2 root 3, which is negative 2 root 3, all over negative 1. And I can divide both pieces by negative 1, so I get negative root 2 plus 2 root 3 as my final answer. Bring any questions to class.